Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Off Script, the most authentic podcast in the world, with your host Anon and my co-host
Mr. Rook.
And here is Rush. We're here to talk about everything, almost everything. And then we don't make a reference of it.
Bullshit with no reference.
All right. Let's start with you, Mr. Rook. So how did you get your name Rook?
The name originates from my parents always calling me a crook because I never used to follow the instructions. So, and then growing up, I've changed. I've emerged from being a crook to a rook. So that's it.
Okay, that's interesting. What about you, Mr. Rush? There were rumors that your first car was a Toyota Rush. Is that why you got the name Rush?
You just answered. So
Whoa, that was
I think you've done all my hard work now.
Okay.
I just have to say yes, and that's basically all suffice the.
I thought you were always rushing to work, being on time. That's why you got the name Rush. So I just took
The first person here, you waited for us for half an hour. Sorry.
No, that's different.
That's different?
Yeah, being punctual and have to rush on something, that's different.
two different things. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you might go somewhere slowly, but on time.
Okay.
Or you might rush, but you're late.
I see. See, I don't have an interesting story. My name is Anon just because I'm anonymous. With a mask and everything, I'm always anonymous. Nobody really knows my real name. I don't even think you two know my real name, right?
Yeah.
You guys know my name or not?
Of course I know. I've been best friends with this guy my whole life. I know his name, first name, second name, third name, all his false names.
Yeah. Since he's under mask, I don't know what he ran away from. So he could be. He could be telling me his false names, you know.
Okay, that's very interesting. We're talking about me being under mask. What about you two? You're also under mask. Yeah. What's the reason that you're wearing a mask today?
To be honest, just want to keep my identity a secret for as long as I can. Growing family in a digital world, it's nice to be hidden.
What about you? What reasons were you always used to wearing a mask?
Yeah, in the winter time, when it's very cold, I used to wear a mask.
Oh, so there's no other reasons why you wear a mask?
The reason is because it's the identity of the podcast. We wear the three in mask, so...
Well, very mysterious, right?
Yeah, so this is like a brand.
The mask brand.
Interesting. So
yeah.
Now I noticed a cup in front of you. Why do you have a cup in front of you when you wear a mask? How will you able to drink?
No, I just finished the coffee, so...
You're drinking coffee?
Used to be some coffee in there.
But now it's finished?
Yeah, it's all been taken in.
Can you tell me why you even prefer coffee over tea or other drinks? What is it about coffee that intrigues you?
Yeah, before you ask that question, I used to like tea growing up, you know.
So where did you go wrong? When did you go wrong? When did you go wrong?
It's subjective, where I went wrong or where I went right. But I think when I was at uni, there were a lot of coffee drinker than among friends than tea.
So you were peer pressured into drinking coffee?
It wasn't really peer pressure. For me, I feel like it keeps your work. There's a lot of stimulants in your brain.
Usually, especially in the Arab culture, since we're in Saudi, coffee is something they start off as a young age. But you starting off quite senior, starting off coffee, was it not bitter for you? How was the taste? Did you add a lot of sugar? Because right now, for me, as not a middle-aged man, but as quite an adult, but I can't drink coffee. It's too bitter for me.
Yeah, me neither. I stay away from coffee.
I can drink tea because I started from a young age, but coffee...
I think as you grow up, there are a lot of things that you use to dislike as you grow. As you're a young guy, a young man, and then you slowly try to know the benefits that you get out of it. For example, I can chew ginger. Before I couldn't do that.
So you only drink coffee for the taste, or is it for you get something out of it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It keeps me at work. Working. I've been at work since 5 o'clock. Sorry, 5 o'clock I was...
In the morning,
up, yeah. I know, I woke up at 4. But I've been at work since that time. And nothing is going to make me fall asleep.
By the power of coffee, you've been awake.
I also enjoy it. It's not like something that
It's a poison that you drink.
Yeah, it's not like it's has to be sweet for it to be enjoyed. No, I just enjoy the steaming.
Interesting. I've just never gotten over. You know, I can't deal with the taste. I think coffee is something that
It's a cheap drug, you know. If you go think about buying cocaine or some heavy drugs, you know, they're gonna cost you a lot of money. So, what's the best way then get yourself, cheap drugs that you can?
coffee. So it's a legal drug.
It's a legal drug.
Good. All right. So let's talk about your journey. So
It has its addiction, by the way.
I'm well aware because even with a mask you have a cup. It's very evident. It's clear. So let's start with you, Mr. Rook. Tell us more about yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from?
Well, some of you might have been able to guess from my accent. I'm from London. I'm a Londoner, proper geezer. Been born and bred there. Just came to now currently in Saudi Arabia. Came here as an educator. Been here for the past 4 or 5 years. I just living my best life. Alhamdulillah. What about yourself?
I think me and you share the same story. I don't really need to introduce myself, but yeah, the exact same. We both been London boys since early. We came here 4 or 5 years ago as educators, and we've been doing the same thing every day. What about you, Mr. Rush?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Interesting.
I work here as a teacher. So I think that's where we met, the three of us.
Yes.
Okay.
So we share a common goal of saving.
Come on. How long have you been here?
November 7 is going to be 5 years.
Okay, interesting. So 4, 5.
4 for 5.
And we're all expats living in Jeddah.
So I'm relatively longer in this country than you guys.
Relatively, but 4 and 5 is...
Mr. Rush, is this your first time in the Middle East?
No, I've been before. I've been in Oman. I've been in Qatar. I've been in Saudi. This is where I am now.
What about Emirates, UAE?
Yeah, UAE is where I used to live there before. For 7 years, yes.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yes, 7 years, a long time, yes. You can say that. And I've been in each Emirates of UAE.
And since you've traveled the whole of Middle East, what would you say was your highlight? Would you prefer it here, UAE?
I think it's different, depending how you look at the lens that you look at life, Because here I'm more settled, I'm more focused. Life here is a little bit laid back compared to UAE. Spiritually inclined. You feel more closer to your creator.
Speaking about creator, so are you a Muslim?
Yeah.
So that's why
Muslim. I'm the follower of Islam.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, you can say that, yes.
Okay, and is that one of the main reasons you picked Jeddah over other cities because of the close vicinity towards Mecca and Medina?
Yeah, so when I went for interview that led me to come here, there was a post sign that say 85 kilometers to Mecca.
Okay.
And that was 85 kilometers to Mecca. All schools they have had their own something that enticed you to go for interview.
Sure.
Because it was like
There's AGS.
yes, there are a lot of schools.
Academy. Yeah, there's
A lot of international schools. But what brought me closer was when I read it, 85 kilometers to Mecca. And I'm a good driver, so I know 85 is quite close.
You guys have kilometers in South Africa?
Yeah.
No, well, we have miles.
Yeah, I don't know why someone...
not deal with
Now the British, they came up with a metric system and they give everybody in the world and then they stay away from whatever they've... So they brought to us metric system with kilograms and centimeter, grams, and
I see.
only to find out they use pounds and miles. You know what I mean?
Interesting. What about you, Mr. Rook? Why did you pick Saudi Arabia and especially Jeddah?
Alhamdulillah. I think, to be honest, I had an option to go to Riyadh as well. The reason why I chose Jeddah was just as you mentioned. We chose Jeddah because of the closeness to Mecca and Medina, alhamdulillah.
Okay, that's the main point, Mecca. I mean, Jeddah, the reason Jeddah is Jeddah because of Mecca. Mecca being so close to Jeddah and so many pilgrims coming here every year. I think over 40 million people arrive at Jeddah just to visit Mecca. So Mecca for us was a big factor coming here, right?
For sure.
No, you're speaking about Jeddah and Makkah. My first contact was I was given a contact to go work in Uganda.
Uganda and Africa.
Yeah. And I was so
Interesting.
excited. I was so excited. And only in at that time I had to decide the next day that whether I was gonna come to Saudi or I was gonna go to Uganda. And my wife was very, she was influenced behind, let's go to Makkah because we can get Umrah there. There's an Umrah in Uganda, yeah.
Oh, Uganda. So there are opportunities in Uganda.
Good opportunities. Would you say the pay was close,
Yeah, they pay very much the same.
competitive?
They pay very much the same, and the cost of life is cheaper than here.
Yeah, cost of living, I assume. And the salaries are very similar in terms of dollars or to Saudi Arabia.
It's a British school.
Okay.
British international
Okay.
school. Cambridge.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but that was back then. We're now here, and we're in the land of deserts, and
When we're truly in a blessed and safe land. For example, like right now, it is one of the safest countries in the world. You can leave your car unlocked, and all your belongings will still be there. Even if people see us three masked men in the street, they'll still leave their cars unlocked. So it is a very safe place, and I'm really glad that we're all here in this blessed land, in the safe
So
country.
what inclined you to come towards?
Yeah,
Middle East?
definitely. Middle East for me, safety is number one. In London, every now and then, if I walked out in the streets, I would always assume I would be getting in some sort of confrontations or in trouble, especially being a young man. It's very, very dangerous in London. But here, I mean, even if you walk at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the safety is phenomenal here. So,
Alhamdulillah.
I won't say that was the reason why I came here. I didn't come here because it's so safe. But when you're here, you realize you are very safe. But it wasn't something that was
In the back of your hand.
consciously the back of my mind said, "Oh, I'm going there because it's safe." No, I didn't. I didn't make that choice. Because even when I went to work in UAE,
yeah,
I didn't go there because it was safe.
it was just an opportunity.
Just opportunity. When I get there, I feel, oh, but this place is very safe. So even when I came here, it wasn't because it's safe. That's why I came here. No, that wasn't in the back of my mind. It wasn't like you get these people that said, "Oh, I'm moving. I'm going to Australia. I'm going to New Zealand," and they said, "No, because here is very, the crime rate is very high." No. I didn't do that. I didn't come here because it's very safe. No, that wasn't me. It could be as dangerous as back home, but I would still go because I had the opportunity.
Wow. That you see, that's where me and you differ. Safety is very important for me. I don't want to go outside and come back without shoes, without my phone, without my trousers. Very important to go out and come back safely in one piece.
Yeah, but I think it's still, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's qadr of Allah. Anything can happen. So let's.
No, I'm talking about London now. I think even London is safe unless you're at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, we'll let the audience decide if London is safe or not. I'm pretty sure they're well aware with the
To be honest,
social media.
I kind of agree with you. It is a big safety net coming to the Middle East. However, I didn't know how dangerous London was until I came here. And once I visited and I stayed, I realized the issues that London had. So I can see where you're coming from. It wasn't the safety net, but I came because it was a Muslim land. I came to be with the Muslims. That was my highlight. That was the main point. But safety is something that convinced me fully to remain here.
Of course, but let's talk about one of the main things, halal food. In London, I mean, there are multiple halal shops, but not everything is halal, as you're aware. In here, you can go anywhere, KFC, McDonald's, Hardee's, any shop, and
Wake up.
and you are guaranteed to find halal food anywhere. So that is a big plus factor here. I mean, you're from South Africa. How are the halal food down there readily available? Because there is a big community of Muslims in Cape Town, I believe.
No, not because of being a big community, but I think it's well organized. So we have what we call a judiciary council, Muslim judiciary council. They are responsible to, to make sure that everything is done in a halal way. And whenever you buy products, you have to look at the stamp from MJC.
Okay.
If you see the stamp, this product we have halal butchers, and
So you have to read the stamp, for example.
you have to read the
You can't be under the assumption that everything's halal, because you do get some tourists that go from here, being from here and other Muslim countries. Whenever they travel elsewhere, they're still under the presumptions that everything is halal, so they end up buying everything. So
Last year we were in a town called Naisna, which is in the west coast. It's a small, not west coast. It's more in the it's in the Western Cape. It's more closer to East London.
wait, okay, there's an East London.
There's
in
an
South
East
Africa.
London
Oh, got you.
Yeah. It's a British influence of names.
Yeah.
So you find Hanover, you find Sari State. All these names coming from the UK. So we were in this supermarket, and my wife and I were shopping because we were on holiday, and we saw a Saudi family. They were buying also some stuff for the wherever they were
For their stay.
camping, yes, and they were having pork in their tray, and my wife had to step in, but then she couldn't tell them in Arabic, so I said, just say Hanzir. She goes to greet them and say Hanzir, showing them.
And
So
what was their reaction like? What were their reactions?
yeah, their eyes were popped out, and
Like, huh?
this Hanzir. It looks good. I say,
So staying in South Africa.
yeah. So to finish off, so every product you buy, you have to look at
The label.
the label. Yes.
If it says halal, you get it. If it's not,
Yes. And sometimes the MJC will announce to say, maybe certain brand is not halal, so people stop, and then they will announce maybe in a couple of months, they're now halal.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Staying in here, you don't get, alhamdulillah, you don't get pork in Saudi Arabia. But in South Africa, I'm pretty sure pork is readily available. Have you ever accidentally eaten pork? Or
No, let's not expose that.
Yeah.
no, it's accidentally. There's
Yeah, it many times. I think
Many times.
many times, man.
2 times I was aware that it was accidental. Other time I didn't. So a friend of mine that we used to teach together in the school, and he moved out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was end of the month, so he gave me a call and said, "Hey, can you meet for lunch?" I said, "Yes." So we met at a restaurant, and then I ordered something, and then it happened. So as I tasted, it was nice, but then I realized it doesn't taste like other meat.
Oh,
So
It was exotic meat.
no, I don't know. Sometimes you pick it up something that you're not used to.
yeah.
So I called the waiters. I said, "Hey,
What's this?
is this pork?" I said, "Yes."
Oh, you straight away knew it had to be pork. How did you know that? Because you could have asked anything. You straight away jumped to, is this pork?
So the meat was very soft,
Ah, okay.
and I don't know how I can describe it, how I can explain. But it's not like the meat that I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I just asked, "Is this pork?" And I said, "Yes." He thought like he did me a favor by,
By answering, yeah.
give me nice looking pork. So I said, "But I told you I don't eat pork." But what happened is, I think there was a change of shift.
Okay.
the
So
person
there was a
who took order-
miscommunication.
Yeah, so they didn't hand over and take over properly. And then the manager came, apologized, and gave me something that was halal.
So that's what I'm saying, guys. Stay away from pork. Pork is truly, truly disgusting. Even though he said it tasted good, it's really, really disgusting and dirty. But let's start with you, Mr. Rook. Have you ever eaten pork by accident?
No, nothing.
Never?
Alhamdulillah, never.
Not that he's conscious.
No,
No,
maybe he ate it and he's not aware.
Yeah, I don't.
Because you never know. It's the UK.
No, I always confirm and check. I'm quite picky with the food I eat, and I've got sensitive taste buds, so I can tell if something is off. So every time I ask, I'm like, remove this, remove that. I'm quite picky with food. So I would have known if I had tasted a different kind of food.
Yeah.
I don't even have turkey ham slices,
Turkey bacon, none of
turkey
that.
bacon,
Yeah.
nothing. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah, I just stick to beef and lamb and chicken. That's it.
And the chicken,
Lamb,
I don't
beef,
even
chicken.
consider meat. You know, my father told me at a young age, chicken is not meat.
I agree.
I treat it as if it's a vegetable. Lamb, even beef sometimes.
But steaks are very nice.
Steaks. This year, I've started having steaks. This year, as you can tell, I'm a picky eater. But steaks now, homemade steak, I make it myself. Extremely juicy. With nice mushroom sauce on top, roasted potatoes on the
He's
side.
making us hungry. This guy, he's on a mission to make us hungry today.
I think I might have that today.
He wants to set the impression that he can cook, you know.
I can't cook. I can't
West
save
chef,
my life,
the
man.
West chefs, you know, the noodle cuckoo.
Yeah, like, I have a good story for him being a chef. So when we moved here, before moving here, I couldn't move alone. So I was going around convincing many friends to come with me to Saudi Arabia. But in my mind, I knew if I was going to move, I had to bring a guy who can cook. So when I asked him, hey, how do you feel about moving abroad? And he said, yeah, I'm ready for that. I said, can you cook? He said, yeah, of course. I've been cooking all my life. I moved out of university and I've been cooking.
I used to work in,
Yeah.
I used to work in the grill.
Yeah, he did mention that.
I
He
actually
said,
worked in the grill.
I've worked behind the grill.
With
So,
some pizza.
yeah, so me, I'm good with the cleaning and everything, but cooking is where I like. So I said, okay, I brought a guy.
Let's go.
First few days, you know, he said, I'm not in the mood. We need to order takeaways. We were living together at that time. So we're doing takeaways. And then we went, and I went outside and I brought lamb, nicely fresh lamb. And I gave it to him. I said, can you make some rice and lamb? And he said, I don't know how to do that. I said, all right, forget that. Can you just make some lamb curry? He said, I don't know how to do that. I said, can you make beans? He said, I don't know how to do that. I said, what can you cook? He said, noodles. For the next 2 years, we were eating noodles every single day. So I said, what do you mean by cooked noodles? He said, man, you got to add these spices on the noodles, add some yogurt, add some sauces. That was his cooking. That's how we survived in
I still
university.
miss it sometimes. So I'll pick noodles over steak any day.
Yeah, but
Noodles, I think.
That's why he took me to a Korean restaurant.
Korean. There's this nice.
whoa, Korea. How was the Korean experience? What did they serve you?
That was a worst food.
Wow.
No offense to our Korean fans out there, but
It was top class. If anything, I believe Anon had it last night.
I did order some Korean last night.
He was telling
In
me.
the same
about
place?
Same place.
No, I'm not a big fan of Korean. For me, I feel like
What was it about the food that you didn't like?
everything. I feel like I'm having noodles.
Was it not nice noodles?
Noodles.
I mean, it was
on the side.
nice noodles.
Noodles on steroid, you know?
They had some protein in there. They had beef.
Man, they had that nice steak, beef, meat on the side. They had eggs on the side. It was delicious, man. Nice spice. You know, if you're sick and you have that.
Chinese food, I will take it.
Chinese food.
But what about Chinese food would you eat?
Sure. What do you call?
Dumplings.
No, a dumpling. What do they call it, man? I don't know much about the Indians.
He just orders Chinese. He just goes, he says, give me Chinese. And they give him whatever's available.
Chow mein.
Chow mein, chicken chow mein.
Chicken chow mein.
Okay, interesting. So you said you were in the UAE for 7 years. Were you alone or were you with the family? Were you living there alone?
I was alone, but I had friends So we're still friends. I mean,
So did you have a cook as well? Not a cook like Mr. Rook, but did you have a
not like they
I think
become
that's why they
enemies.
call me a crook.
Not like they become enemies. We're still friends.
So were you the one cooking? or what other people?
The company used to provide us.
They used to give you food.
So you only cook when you don't feel like eating from the food that's
Canteen.
Cafeteria.
cafeteria.
What about here? Do you cook yourself or do you do takeaways? Does the company provide you food?
No, I cook myself. Sometimes I order from outside, which is very rare case. Yeah.
So what is it that you cook? Noodles?
No. No, there's not food.
I mean, many people will disagree with
That's
you.
the
I mean, all the
funny
college
thing,
students,
disagree.
all the university students, they live off noodles.
Yeah, I think noodles for people who can't cook. So they shake hot water and they add spice and boiled eggs and
And that's it.
I think that's where the name Rook comes from a cook to a crook to a Rook. Really tricked me into cooking. All right. So what is it that you do here in this place? Well, you are by profession, what are you in Saudi Arabia?
yeah, so I'm a teacher. I teach mathematics,
Okay, interesting.
science.
Oh, you're teaching two subjects.
Hybrid.
Yeah. No, I came here to teach maths,
Yeah.
but I ended up teaching science and yeah, so there are times when I have to teach maths, there are times when I have to teach science.
Science.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. What about you? What are you?
I teach English and reading to the students.
Shit rich.
Literature is what they call it. The first week we came and I was teaching literature and my friend over here, Mr. Anon, was teaching the grammar part and we were calling it grammar and shiterature.
So interesting. We're all teachers. 3 teachers.
Yeah, it's alhamdulillah.
And we're on a podcast.
3, I think it's the best for 3.
So what do you like about literature?
Literature has evolved quite a bit from my time. Now, literature is more about like a history lesson. So when I read the text, we can really reflect back on the old authors, what they were going through, what influenced their work, and it's really interesting.
He's actually very inspired by literature.
Honestly, I am.
Because when I see him when we're driving back home, I see a notebook and he's writing notes. He ran like he never
Never
ran
ran
before.
before.
He's writing all these quotes. I'm like, whoa, he's inspired.
So what kind of literature are you teaching? African literature?
No,
Asian? Or is it America?
American. Currently, I'm teaching American literature. America and a few British artists, but mostly American.
He's only interested in the African literature. He wants to know if you are teaching African literature. That's what he's.
to Mark Twain.
What about you, for example, South Africa?
No, maths, you don't get American.
No, not in maths. Just I'm talking about in South Africa. What kind of literature are they learning in South Africa? Is it African literature? What kind of?
It's European literature.
Oh, so the curriculum is they're following the European curriculum.
Yeah, European literature. So you find if you're interested in African literature, then you study African literature.
Okay.
But that is your own interest. It's not part of the curriculum.
I see. Interesting.
That's why a lot of people in South Africa, and I'm speaking the correction, they know more about Othello and, the House of Pies and Great Guests.
House of Usher.
House of Usher, the Great Guests.
Beautiful school.
In Africa.
I had the opportunity to teach it last year.
But if you ask them about African literature, most of them don't know about.
I mean, that's strange. How are people able to relate? I mean, you're in Africa.
Yeah.
How are you able to relate to the literature if it's not African literature? Where is the identity? Where is the sense
There are critiques about that question that you asked now. But if you go to the rest of Africa, people are learning about African literature.
For example, Kenya. Would you say Kenya?
Kenya, they have one of the top guy that died recently, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. So he wrote a lot of work, Weep No Child, The River Between, The Devil on the Cross, Dreams in the Time of War. So he wrote a lot of work.
Okay, and you've read that not because you were taught that, just because you had an interest into looking into African literature.
African literature. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If you go to the library in South Africa, you get these African literature.
Yeah.
You get books like Steve Biko's books written by Nelson Mandela, Chinua Achebe, Gungi Thiong'o, among others.
Would you think a time will come that these books will turn into the main curriculum of the rest of African countries as well? Do you think a time is close, or do you think we're moving further away from this?
Yeah, people do evolve. You know, there's a wave of Pan-Africanism that is, you know, right from Burkina Faso is going right down to the south. So I think there's a discussion about these things that we talk about. Why should we how do we decolonize our mind? How do we free our mind from the reliance of Eurocentric ideas, among others, you know?
Interesting.
What about you? Would you classify yourself as a elite grammar teacher? Because we know we don't get trained grammar.
Grammar, yeah.
In the UK, in London, I've never been taught grammar.
No, grammar isn't within the language. Grammar is just a set of rules. It's very straightforward, very simple. Once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. So it is very straightforward. There's no interpretation to it. It's just white and black. So it's a lot easier than literature and other subjects. So grammar for me is very easy.
But would you not find it boring because you're teaching the same thing again? Because with literature, every story I teach, I add a different kick to it, different perspective.
Anything can be boring if you don't love it. So I love the teaching aspect of it, not the actual subject. I can teach anything. I'm more interested in what knowledge the students are taking from me. Am I motivating them enough?
Yeah.
So I love the teaching aspect of it, not the actual subject. I don't really have a particular subject that I love, but I do love teaching. I do love passing on the knowledge to the younger generations.
Did you always want to be a teacher?
No. I never wanted to be a teacher. So I actually didn't know what I wanted to be. I started off with trying to get into medicine. Didn't like it. Did some work experience in a hospital. Found it a bit gruesome. Left that. Then my friend wanted me to come to the same university as him, so he convinced me to do medical engineering. I did that. Didn't like it. Graduated, alhamdulillah. Was watching a movie in the cinema, and a big advert came up saying, "Come do a PGCE. There's a nice grant." I said, "Let me try that." I did that. Didn't like that. Went into ICT. I became a ICT engineer. Did that. Liked that very much. But then the opportunity came to move abroad. It was very difficult to get into IT. So teaching it was. And the rest is history. And I'm glad I picked teaching because it is a very rewarding job.
Yes,
and the most important thing is the amount of holidays we get. Right now we're on a holiday, right? That's why we're recording this.
2 weeks holiday for Eid.
2 weeks. Yeah, and after that, I think a month and a half we have off. Yes. No other job can give you this. So it is a very rewarding job. Alhamdulillah.
Mr. Rash, did you always want to be a teacher? Was it always in your program when growing up?
Yeah, that's correct. I always wanted to be a teacher. And when I had the opportunity, I went straight to study to become a teacher. So there was no dally-lally about what do I choose. Everything else was, I knew what I wanted. And when the opportunity came along, I pursued my studies as to become a teacher.
Always maths teacher, nothing else?
In the beginning, I was a little bit frustrated when I was still young, that I could study anything just to become a teacher, whether it's English. But when I had the opportunity, I knew that I want to be maths teacher.
And you got what you wanted.
I got even extra. I got maths and science teacher.
And there we go. You can add more to that.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Rook? Did you want to be a teacher?
Well, not really. To be honest, when I had to pick something to study in university, my parents were pushing me to do teaching. They said, "You've been a good role model." Not a good role model, but as a crook, that you can get away with teaching. You have a big influence on the younger generation. You have a way with words. You will inspire them. But for me, teaching, marking, I was like, no, I want to do something different. So I started off as an electric engineer. I graduated, alhamdulillah. I had a job. I went to the job, didn't even survive a week. I was in some warehouse making these small chips, and I looked at it. My colleagues were like 50 years old. I said, this is not the life of...
You didn't fit in,
Nah,
basically.
did not fit in at all. And then I quit after a week. This was in Hayes. So I quit that. Then I came back. I went into civil engineering instead, my brother at the time.
That's a big change from electrical to civil.
It was definitely a big change. So what influenced it was my older brother. He was working for one of these companies, and he said, you know what, there's an opportunity opening up. Why don't you apply? And then when I went to the interview, they said, what are you doing here? You're not even a civil engineer. I said, engineering is engineering. I know the maths.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker. Just give me an opportunity. So alhamdulillah, I worked as a civil engineer a site engineer for around 4 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
4 to 5 years. I was tutoring maths on the side. And then when the opportunity came, well, when you convinced me, he actually convinced me. It took him a full year to convince me to move and do teaching as a full-time gig. So then I came to Saudi. He forced me, actually, convinced me. And then alhamdulillah, I think it was the best decision I ever made.
So now you can make dua for me.
I always make dua for you. I always make dua for you, man. Alhamdulillah that I came here. And it was a stressful job, man.
Okay, I think we've spoken enough about ourselves. I think we need to give our audience a small break.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for being here, Mr. Rush, Mr. Mr. Rook. And it's been a pleasure having you. Assalamu alaikum.